Hey guys, Crypto Mike here with the mic check 1 2 1 2. Is this thing on? Please hit the thumbs ups, the subscribe button, and the notification bell if you enjoy being the first to access my new videos and live streams. And we have a lot of fun in the live streams, so make sure that you're the first one to be notified. Alright, so let's go. Now you guys, Dan Held is a person of interest to me. And I'm going to show you why. Now, he was just on the Anthony Pompliano podcast, which was published 4 days ago. And as I showed you in my video this morning and yesterday, that I was very interested in it. I listened to it yesterday, and it was very interesting to me because he went over a lot of stuff that actually made me think, and it was good stuff. Now, I want to show you why he's kind of interesting, and then I want to read an article that he wrote, which is very fascinating. Okay, and so Dan Held is currently the director of business development for Kraken. Okay, now Kraken is tied to Coinbase, Ripple, Litecoin, others. All right, he sold. Let me see. He sold Zero Block for all Bitcoin, and he's popular for taking all Bitcoin as his payment for that company, and he made that like a popular thing in Silicon Valley to start accepting cryptocurrency as payment. All right, not a lot of people ever did that, and he took all Bitcoin as payment for his company when I believe it was at $1,200. And it might have been 1,800, and then I think it was 1,200, and then that was the all-time high at the moment, and then it came back all the way down to 180, and he still held his Bitcoin. He never sold it, and I don't think he's sold any of his Bitcoin still. And he goes over that in the interview. He also goes over who Satoshi is, the Bitcoin halving, what it's been like, being on the ride the whole time, and it's pretty cool. So anyways, now another thing too I want to show you is I did an interview with Kent Lewis, okay, and I've showed you this a few times. Took a screenshot of this. All right, so and Kent Lewis is very fascinating. He's done a couple research reports, but Digital Currency Group was created by people from the Federal Reserve, and Digital Currency Group controls Bitcoin with Bitstream, which is in the news today. They made running a node 25 times faster they made satellites, 6 satellites that control Blockstream. The running a node is like 25 times faster now, or something like that. They're in the news today, right? Like 6 days before the halvening. So they're controlled by the Federal Reserve basically, and all these people, Dan Held is being kind of paraded out there. Not paraded, but he's kind of doing his rounds right now, it seems like. But he is head of Kraken. He's one of the heads of Kraken. He's going out there, but look, Elliptic. I didn't even know that. Oh, Elliptic is controlled by the Federal Reserve too. They just had a big partnership with freaking Stellar. That's awesome. Now we know. Oh dang! How did I not know this? I'm so glad I looked at this right now. Ripple, CoinDesk. By the way, Dan Held is a writer for CoinDesk. So CoinDesk is controlled by the Federal Reserve. Coinbase, blockchain, there you go. So Dan Held is heavily tied to the Federal Reserve, which may or may not be controlled by President Trump right now. Still not sure about that. I'm gonna have to dig deep into that and figure it out. Digital Currency Group controls. Now this was Kent Lewis, by the way, who I did interview. And I have this on the Crypto Spotlight channel, which I'm going to leave the links. All the links for everything in this video are going to be down below. For Dan Held's article that I'm going to read for this channel, Crypto Spotlight, which I do interviews exclusively on. It's also my backup channel in case anything ever happens to this channel. Make sure you subscribe right now. Go subscribe to the Crypto Spotlight channel. The description is in the link. The link's in the description below. All right, Crypto Spotlight. I've interviewed McAfee, Scott DeGroat from Woke Societies about Project Looking Glass. Okay, this is a very unbiased channel. Okay, people from all sides. I'm gonna have Cyrus Parsa, the one who's doing the lawsuit against, Zuckerberg and Elon Musk from Neuralink, and the founders of Google. He's also suing freaking Bill Clinton and Obama. He's suing all these people. All right, he's gonna be on the channel probably in a month or so, hopefully. I'm talking to him right now. We're messaging back and forth. I might have McAfee back on. I'm gonna have Bo Polony. He's gonna be on soon, and I'm gonna have all sorts of people on. This is gonna grow and grow and grow. I'm blessed to be in the position I'm at. That's why I keep this channel very unbiased. Okay, I'm not gonna stick to one side. I'm keep it very unbiased, and then I'm gonna keep this channel, the Crypto Spotlight channel. I'm gonna keep my opinions to myself on this channel and let people speak their minds, and then you guys can watch it and just enjoy all these people coming on with their crazy opinions. All right, and I'm gonna try to not get it banned or anything. And if it's demonetized, that's fine. This one doesn't need to be monetized. This is the Crypto Spotlight. I might even maybe start a Patreon for this one. I don't know if I need it to be funded or anything. I don't think I need it to be funded, but I don't know how that works. I don't think I'll need it to be funded, but just I need it. I'm gonna want to get good people on it, so I don't think I'll need it to be funded for that. But anyways, in the future, I'm gonna get good people on it. It's gonna be unbiased, and we'll see how that goes. See where to go from there. Anyways, Kent Lewis, I had him on there, and he kind of sort of predicted the big collapse. So what happened was the stock market crashed in March, and he told us, all this stuff that was going to happen, but he wrote a report, and Dan Held is basically he's tied to a lot of what was in that report. All right. He's tied to blockchain. He's tied to Coinbase indirectly, CoinDesk, Ripple indirectly, Kraken, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and read this awesome article that he wrote. Now, this is Information Theory of Money. I'll leave the link in the description. Prices and the market are intricately intertwined. Prices reflect information. In a free market economic system, prices are knowledge and the signals that communicate information. Prices are not simply a tool to allow capitalists to profit. They are the information system of economic production, communicating knowledge across the world and coordinating the complex processes of production. Saifuddin Amlas. Prices are the coordinating force of a free market system. Each individual decision maker can rely on the prices of goods and services to help with their decision making, as the prices themselves are a distillation of all known market information into a single metric. In other words, the compression of all relevant data is ultimately manifested as price. For the more techie-minded, it's a one-way hash function. Each individual's buy and sell decisions, in turn, further shape prices that carry this altered information back out into the market. Some of you may have heard of this from efficient market hypothesis, which is about how information in the market is reflected in the price of assets like equities. Money is the measuring stick. Money is the central information utility of the world economy. All right, so he's explaining exactly what money is, and this is very informative, okay, because we need to go to the root of why Bitcoin was created, why this whole need for cryptocurrency existed, or at least the explanation for why it exists is put out there, okay? Because if they did create this cryptocurrency thing to control us, then they at least needed to create a good explanation for why we are going to need it. As a medium of exchange, store of value, and unit of account, money is the critical vessel of information about the conditions of markets. Capitalist economies are not equilibrium systems, but dynamic domains of entrepreneurial experiments. Money should be standard of measure for the outcomes of entrepreneurial experiments. George Gilder. The essence of capitalism is all about the efficient allocation of capital given the constraints of scarce resources and time. Companies are experiments on how to best allocate capital, and money is a standard measure for efficiency. Making money represents the efficient allocation of capital. Losing money is not an efficient use of capital. And competition means decentralized planning by many separate companies, and people have to solve a problem in a market. Information is decentralized. A centrally planned economy could never match the efficiency of the open market, because what is known by a single agent is only a small fraction of the sum total of knowledge held by all members of society. That's a quote by Hayek from Hayek's Local Knowledge Problem. A decentralized economy thus complements the dispersed nature of information spread throughout society. Each company is an attempt to take the local knowledge that it has and create a good or service that ultimately is the correct capital allocation, aka the profit. To highlight how decentralized this information is, I'm going to give an example by Milton Friedman, who made this statement, quote, "There's not a single person in the world who knows how to make a pencil. The wood comes from a tree. To cut down that tree, it took a saw. To make the saw, it took steel. To make steel, it took iron ore. Graphite comes from some mines in South America. The eraser, which is rubber, probably comes from the tropics, or the yellow paint, or the glue that holds it together. There was no central planning office. It was the magic of the price system. Central banks have an unsolvable data problem. Central banks inherently have a data problem. There's an ingestion, processing. Do you see how complex this is, and what kind of problems that we don't really deal with as casual, normal people? But these are real big problems, dealing with big money. All right, this is a big problem, and this is the catalyst. Okay, we're at the very crux in time that is the most important time in human history. This is the technological advancement that we've been waiting for. Humanity has been waiting for this point in time that is going to change every single thing from here on out in our lives. This is going to be the paradigm shift of all paradigm shifts, okay? Up to this point, there's been nothing greater than this fourth industrial revolution. This is the industrial revolution of industrial revolutions. An economy cannot be planned by a central authority, because there's no way that a central authority can have all the necessary knowledge to make the best decision at any single point in time, let alone all points in time. It's a problem of the utilization of knowledge, which is not given to anyone in its totality. That's from Hayek. To operate effectively, central banks would have to ingest trillions of data points daily, and ingest those data points in a perfect manner, which is impossible. Every single Uber taken, every single sandwich purchased, every single in-app purchase We need to believe we live in a predictable, controllable world, so we turn to authoritative sounding people who promise to satisfy that need. It's a quote from Philip Tetlock. We've created central banks because we want the world to make sense, and we want to feel that there is someone in charge. Even if we were able to ingest perfect data, it is hard to infer simple causality for this complex, chaotic system, which involves billions of decision makers. While determining the relationship between weather and crops might seem easy, how do we determine the causality of burrito demand? Economics isn't like the sciences. We are hamstrung by smaller, incomplete sample sizes. We can't rerun the dot-com bubble with a different central bank or a different president. This brings us to how central banks measure, impact, and make decisions. There's a classic product saying that goes, quote, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. It's hard to even measure a kilogram with extreme precision. So how could we possibly measure inflation properly? Example, CPI excludes food and energy. Quote, since big events come out of nowhere, forecasts may do more harm than good, giving the illusion of predictability in the world where unforeseen events control most outcomes, aka black swan events. That's a quote from Carl Richards. He goes on to say, quote, risk is what's left over when you think you thought of everything. Daniel Kahneman also has a great take on the dangers of using history as our guide. Quote, hindsight, the ability to explain the past, gives us the illusion that the world is understandable. It gives us the illusion that the world makes sense, even when it doesn't make sense. That's a big deal in producing mistakes in many fields. Here's a useful analogy. Essentially, the Fed is driving the car, which is the economy, only using the rearview mirror, which is foggy, and the front windshield is opaque. You can't see the future. How could the Fed possibly drive the car with any accuracy? What if we just let the car itself adjust to the conditions of the road? History cannot be interpreted without the aid of imagination and intuition. The sheer quantity of evidence is so overwhelming that selection is inevitable. So what is our alternative? Sound money. Quote, sound money is the equivalent of scientific integrity. The system must not permit the manipulation of data after the experiment has taken place. George Gilder. Sound money keeps the ruler settings fixed, so results cannot be altered by a centralized planning mechanism. And Bitcoin is the perfect iteration of sound money. Bitcoin has a hard cap for several reasons, being a precise measuring stick, reducing political attack vectors, and encouraging speculative bubbles, which act as a viral loop. But why 21 million? Why not 100 million? Here's the secret. It doesn't matter. Its precise length is irrelevant. What matters is just that there's a fixed amount. That's true. That does make sense. Okay, it doesn't matter what people think. It's true. Really doesn't matter. As economic activity moves from a primitive scale, it becomes harder for individuals to make decisions without having a fixed unit of account with which to compare value. Regarding political attack vectors, Satoshi felt that setting a proper rate of inflation rate was impossible, so he decided to remove human decision-making from the process. Satoshi had two quotes regarding fixed supply that support this conclusion. Quote, indeed, there is nobody to act as central bank or Federal Reserve to adjust the money supply as the population of user grows. That would have required a trusted party to determine the value, because I don't know a way for software to know the real world value of things. Satoshi also says, quote, if there was some clever way, or if we wanted to trust someone to actively manage the money supply to peg it to something, the rules could have been programmed for that. Finally, Satoshi hypothesized that a fixed supply might create speculative bubbles. As the number of users grows, the value per coin increases. It has the potential for a positive feedback loop. As users increase, the value goes up, which could attract more users to take advantage of the increasing value. So he had greed in mind. He knew there was a human quality that would never go away, that was always going to be there, and that's greed. Humans, if they saw something was going to keep going up in price, they were going to FOMO in, and that's exactly what happens. Ever since Bitcoin came out, you see the S-curve, it does go up in value. Every time it hits that support, it goes up, and that's exactly what's happening. So people are FOMOing in, especially now that they get money, stimulus checks from the government. That's exactly, it's steadily going up. Bitcoin, since it's low from a month ago, from 7 weeks ago, it's up 125%. Okay, it's up more than any other market from 7 weeks ago. Any other market, you name it, bonds, oil, stocks, anything, even gold or silver, anything. Implications of sound money. Bitcoin is the ultimate safe haven asset. As more and more people buy, and you guys, Bitcoin is the Mac Daddy, okay? So when I say Bitcoin, I know all the others will follow, the good ones, the ones with utility, okay? So I'm generalizing Bitcoin here. Bitcoin is the ultimate safe haven asset. As more and more people buy into Bitcoin and that narrative, it becomes the de facto risk-off asset. Post hyper Bitcoination, when Bitcoin is the store value, something UOA, I don't know what that is. Bitcoin will reflect the most accurate risk-free rate of a return that we've ever had, which enables the economy and market participants to most efficiently allocate resources. Each market participant, both individual investors and corporations, make the risk-on, risk-off decision, which is manifested in Bitcoin's price. And finally, when Bitcoin is the unit of account and used by every business, market participants can view the flow of funds of their suppliers and customers in real time via their publicly disclosed Bitcoin addresses. This transparency makes markets ultra efficient through the best processing of information. Bitcoin re-architects how capital is efficiently allocated in our economy, ultimately creating a world with more abundance and resources for all. By Dan Hill. This was written in November 2019. It's pretty good. I did enjoy that. I think it makes a good point, makes a good case for why price equals information. You know, why the price is actually very relevant to how people view Bitcoin, and why fundamentals, the price of Bitcoin equals how people see the fundamentals of it. So anyways, I do think Bitcoin actually is very relevant to the world right now. If Bitcoin dies, yeah, the other coins, it's going to be tough for the other coins to recover, because the way the world sees Bitcoin is basically the way the world sees cryptocurrency and all the other coins, all the other digital assets. All right. The only others that even stand a chance without Bitcoin are like XRP, distributed ledger technology like Stellar, and a few others. All right. So I just want to show you guys that article. I'll leave the links in the description. Please hit a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you liked it or didn't like it, and leave a comment in the description. Also share this with your friends if you like it, and make sure you subscribe to this channel, and also subscribe to my backup channel, Crypto Spotlight. Okay, and go watch the Kent Lewis interview and check out his website, freedom.social.com. All right, guys, I love you guys. Remember to hodl strong, baby. We're gonna be rich. Bitcoin is showing some signals right now that the last time they showed, price went parabolic. Okay, so just remember that. Looks like we're in for a wild ride, and just stay happy, guys. Okay, and be good people. Love you guys. Have a good one. Crypto Mike out. Peace.